Apollonio, Education Programs Director for ASLA. Welcome to the ASLA 2017 Annual Meeting and Expo Speaker Orientation Webinar. On behalf of ASLA, I'd like to thank you all for all that you have done and will do to support the Annual Meeting Education Program this year. The purpose of this webinar is to walk you through the next few months of the planning process for the annual meeting as it relates to you, our speakers. If you have questions that are not covered here, please reach out at any time by emailing us at speaker@asla.org. We're always happy to hear from you. Before we get started, I would like to introduce the ASLA staff who work throughout the year to plan the annual meeting. Vanessa Bridges is our new Education Programs Manager, and together we develop and organize all of the annual meeting education content and speakers. Joyce DePass is our Director of Meetings. Joyce is responsible for all of the logistical components surrounding the annual meeting. And Kelly Bland, Manager of Meetings, works with Joyce in support of all logistics planning. And for those of you leading field sessions, you'll be working closely with Kelly later this year. Together, the meetings team ensures that the annual meeting offers attendees the best possible experience. Of course, we cannot do this without the ASLA Annual Meeting Education Advisory Committee and the Los Angeles chapter representatives. On behalf of ASLA, I want to thank them for their dedication and vision, which guides the entire development process of the education program. The AMAC and host chapter volunteers dedicate a tremendous amount of time, behind-the-scenes time to creating an outstanding meeting, and ASLA is extremely grateful to them. Year after year, our annual meeting surveys tell us that the #1 reason people attend the meeting is for the education session topics and speakers. The majority of our attendees participate in 7 to 12 education sessions over the course of the meeting. So there's much to prepare for and be excited about. More than 120 education sessions, field sessions, workshops, and general session will be offered during the Los Angeles meeting, and attendees take full advantage of all these wonderful offerings. As you continue to fine-tune your presentations, please keep in mind that all programming is geared towards intermediate to advanced learning levels. Also, please remember that the session that was submitted to the call for presentation and that has been published in the registration brochure is a session attendees are coming to see. Please follow your original outline and learning objectives as you prepare. 37 states require continuing education or professional development hours for landscape architects. And full registration offers attendees the opportunity to earn up to 21 LACES professional development credits. ASLA recognizes that many of our speakers and attendees work across disciplines. So in an effort to meet varied professional development needs and to engage allied professions, the annual meeting education program is also pre-approved by the credentialing systems you see on your screen. Submissions are in process now, and the annual meeting website will be updated as PDH approvals are received. We'll talk a little bit more about this as we talk about PowerPoint presentations later in this webinar. All of the information we will cover today can be found in the Presenter Center. Most of you have already completed the first few steps we will review, so I'll move through this information quickly. You can log into the speaker management area by going to www.aslameeting.com and then selecting Education. The next page that opens contains all of the information on the annual meeting education sessions. Go to the left and click on 4 speakers on the menu on the left side of the screen. Log into the presenter using your email address and access key. At the top of the page, you can select View Edit Full Profile to update your contact information. Please note that changing your contact information here does not update your ASLA membership profile. You would need to log in and do that as well. Below that is a timeline of key dates and deadlines for our planning process. To update your biography and headshot, AV special requests, or bookstore suggestions, select those items from the task list. For our field session leaders, there are additional planning documents located in your Presenter Center, and you will receive additional communications from the meetings team as planning milestones approach. And with that, I would like to turn you over to Joyce DePass, and she will talk to you a little bit about registration, housing, and session room AV.
All speakers receive a full complimentary registration to the meeting, which are processed on your behalf. The registration confirmation that was sent to you following the completion of your registration included instructions for booking housing. Registration confirmations are sent from Experian. Please be sure to follow those instructions so that you do not create a duplicate record for yourself. If you need a registration confirmation resent, first confirm that you have updated your profile and contact information in the Presenter Center, then email us at speaker@asla.org. We are unable to register you if you do not have an updated profile and contact information. The housing policy is posted in the Presenter Center. For our returning speakers, the housing policy and the housing reimbursements will be the same this year as it was at last year's meeting. In order to be eligible for reimbursement of one-night stay at a hotel, speakers are required to stay at one of the 10 ASLA official hotels, which are listed on the screen. Your meeting registration confirmation email contains a step-by-step instructions for booking your hotel room. ASLA will verify your housing reservation through our official registration provider, which is Experian. Following the meeting, ASLA will then automatically process a reimbursement up to $288 to cover the cost of one night's hotel stay. So please be sure to reserve your hotel room through Experian using the housing instructions provided in your meeting registration email confirmation. Now I'd like to share with you some more information about our education classroom setup. Most presentation rooms will be set theater style. This standard set includes a living room format with comfortable chairs and small tables. A lectern will also be on stage. We ask presenters to adapt to the standard set to streamline the process and contain costs. Special requests that deviate from this setup will be considered on a case-by-case basis. The official deadline for special requests is July 14th. When submitting your requests, please include the session number, session title, and the date and time of your session in the request. If you have any special room requests or IV, we will review each request on a case-by-case basis. A sample of a special room setup might be a Mac laptop. If you're using a Mac, be sure to let us know if you're bringing a Mac VGA cable adapter to connect to your computer to the projector. Video sound use. If your slide includes music, sound clips, or video, let us know so that we can request the special equipment needed to set that up in the room. Flip charts. If you need a flip chart in your room, please limit to one per session room. Please also note that internet is not supplied in any of the session rooms. Laptops. One laptop. One of the presenters on your panel is required to bring his or her own laptop to Los Angeles. It is strongly encouraged that before the meeting, all of the presenters for your sessions be put on a thumb drive, loaded and tested on the laptop before the meeting. That is your best case scenario. If you're unable to do that, come together on site and test your presentation in the speaker ready room before your session begins. If your laptop is malfunctioning and you need to borrow one, ASLA will have a limited number of laptops available on a first-come, first-served basis in the speaker-ready room. Laser pointers will also be made available on request on-site in the speaker-ready room. Alternative room sets. 2 education session rooms will be reserved for alternative room sets or room sets that have deviated from the traditional theater-style audience seating to better engage the audience with you, our presenters. Traditional theater seating has been removed in favor of, 1, a theater in the round set, or a combined seating audience set. Alternative room sets received a great deal of great feedback last year. Session rooms will be reserved for alternative room sets or rooms that have deviated from the traditional theater-style audience seating to better engage the audience with you, our presenters. Traditional theater seating has been removed in favor of theater in the round or combined seating audience setup. Alternative room sets received strong feedback last year, so we're beginning to phase them into more sessions. You'll be notified in advance if your session is placed in a session room with alternative seating. With that, I turn it back over to Susan.
Thank you, Joyce. With our audience in mind, I'd like to introduce you to FXP Touch, a second screen technology, which we are making available for select sessions again this year. Last year was the second time we used second screen, and it was, again, a tremendous success. Of the 888 individuals who attended the 7 conference sessions, which used the technology, nearly 65% logged in and used the second screen. 48% of users voted on at least one of the questions speakers presented. And when asked to use their devices to evaluate the sessions, respondents had an overall average approval rating of 94% out of a possible 100. When asked if they would recommend the session to colleagues on a scale of 0 to 10, the average response was 8.7. And when asked if the information could be used in their jobs, the average response was 8.3 out of 10. As these numbers suggest, FXP enhanced the level of engagement between speakers and audience members. So what is FXP Touch? Second Screen is a session presentation enhancement and audience engagement tool. It allows speakers to poll the audience, measure audience engagement, and field questions from attendees. Attendees can use Second Screen from their personal devices or laptops. There's a brief demo video posted in the Presenter Center. Please take a look, and if you'd like to try it out, let us know no later than July 14th. For those that are interested, we will set up a time to dig deeper into how to add FXP to your presentation, but we need to know well in advance if you and your co-presenters want to incorporate Second Screen into your session. Given that there is much to do to prepare for the meeting, we suggest that you assign key roles for your presentation development, if you have not already done so. The lead presenter helps the session team keep in touch and ensure that deadlines are met. We ask that the lead presenter do the following. Assign key roles for your presentation. Lead presenters act as a main point of contact for your entire team, responsible for all communications to other panelists. Though when ASLA sends out communications, we do CC every speaker. Organize the team, define the scope of your presentation, and assign responsibilities to each of the presenters. Talk to every speaker by phone or in person weeks, if not months, before the annual meeting. Make sure they understand the format and know their individual roles. Assign leadership for the following tasks. Encourage all of your speakers to send you their presentation at least 2 weeks before the event so you can review it as a group, make suggestions, and combine it into one presentation. Assign one person on your team to compile one master PowerPoint, Keynote, or Prezi document. There is a guide to formatting your PowerPoint for the session room screens posted in the Presenter Center. Assign a team member to bring a laptop computer with a slideshow loaded on it and bring your presentation on a thumb drive for backup. Please note that ASLA does not provide laptops. If you plan to use a Mac computer, make a note in the AV request task and bring a Mac VGA adapter cable to connect your laptop to the projector. Session guides are one of the most important components of your education session. They are intended to reduce the amount of note-taking required by attendees. Attendees refer to them in advance, during, and for years after the meeting concludes. The session guides page is one of the most frequently visited sections of the ASLA website, with an average of 40,000 page views each year. They will be made available through the annual meeting mobile app. Session guides should document the scope and content of your session presentation, reflect the marketing statement used to promote your session guide, and guide attendees through your talk. They should include the learning objectives. Guides are required for each session. They are due to ASLA by September 19th. A session handout FAQ document can be found in your Presenter Center and will aid you in preparing this important document. ASLA records a selection of education sessions from the annual meeting program each year. We will notify speakers on a case-by-case basis if their session is selected for recording. We will ask you then to prepare a session quiz and submit it along with the session guide on September 19th. Please organize your presentation around a slideshow and download the ASLA 2017 Ed Session PowerPoint template from the Presenter Center. The template provides an element of graphic uniformity to the continuing education program and helps attendees orient to your topic and learning objectives. Please remember to include the learning objectives at the beginning and at the end of your presentation. As I mentioned, we have posted a reference guide for formatting PowerPoints to the session room screens in the Presenter Center. There are detailed instructions provided in the notes pane of the PowerPoint template. You're welcome to adapt it to another presentation software, but please follow the presentation guidelines provided in the PowerPoint template and make use of the annual meeting logo posted in the Presenter Center. Quick tip, preparing your PowerPoint will help you prepare your session guide and also help you prep for your session. Our bookstore vendor has asked us to compile a list of books that our faculty, field session leaders, and education program participants recommend to carry at the bookstore. Please know that our third-party vendor will make every effort to obtain books suggested. They have the final say in what inventory they will order for the meeting, and in some cases it may not be possible to carry certain titles. Please submit suggested bookstore titles through the Presenter Center by August 1st. And now that we have covered many of the logistical components of the planning process, I'd like to take a moment to share tested advice on how best to prepare for a successful presentation. Because we want to make sure that when you look out into the audience, you see this and not this. These tips come from TEDx, and we have posted links to additional resources from TEDx about public speaking in your Presenter Center. So please keep in mind that timing is key. Each session is 90 minutes, and in order to qualify for professional development, the presentation must consist of 50 to 60 minutes of content followed by 30 minutes for Q&A. Dream big and strive to do something the audience will remember forever. Reveal something never seen before and share an idea that could change the world. Show us the real you. Share your passions, your dreams, and also your fears. Speak of failure as well as success. Keep us engaged. Make us laugh. Make us cry. And above all, talk into the mic so that everyone can hear you, and try not to talk from a script. Make the complex plain. Don't try to dazzle intellectually. Don't speak in abstractions. Explain, give examples, and please tell stories. Don't flaunt your ego. Don't boast. It's the surest way to switch everyone off. And please, no selling from the stage. Please do not pitch your products or services, books, or ask for funding from the stage, or any time before, during, or after your presentation. It is forbidden by professional development guidelines, and it really turns the audience off. Connect with your audience. Talk with the attendees, not at them. Remember that the audience is not made up of only private practitioners. Try to address all practice types through your content. Rehearse your talk in front of a trusted friend for timing, for clarity, for impact. Stop by the speaker ready room and test out the stage set. Meet with your co-presenters, or just enjoy some quiet time. And don't read your talk. Notes are fine, but if your choice is between reading or rambling, then please read. And encourage audience participation, especially during Q&A. When addressing questions from the floor, insist that attendees use the microphones provided, or repeat the question so that the entire audience hears the question before you answer it, or try using second screen to interact with the audience. And please, end your talk on time. Doing otherwise is to steal time from the people that follow you. Take side conversations off the stage at the conclusion of your session so the next session in the room can begin on time. And please have fun. ASLA annual meeting attendees are eager to hear from you, and they are a friendly bunch. What to expect on site. By the time you arrive in Los Angeles, your session guide will have already been posted and made available to attendees, and hopefully your session PowerPoint will also be complete. However, we know that there are always last-minute edits to any presentation, so we invite you to make use of the Speaker Ready Room, which will be located in room 304. The Speaker Ready Room is equipped with LCD projectors and meeting tables for you to practice your presentation with your panel. It is available on a first-come, first-served basis. Please plan to arrive at your session room 20 minutes prior to your session scheduled start time so that the AV technicians can fit you with a microphone. You can connect your laptop and meet your session host. Session host will read a few housekeeping items, remind attendees about PDH tracking, and then introduce your panel, at which point you will be all set to begin your presentation. Hopefully we have answered most of your questions, but please feel free to contact us at any time. We are here to help. And thank you again for your time and efforts, and we look forward to seeing you this fall.